So it's time now for us to take a look at some of our national and international headlines for this Thursday morning. Holy smokes. How did it get to be Thursday already? It is March 30th, 2017. And once again, we've had an incident in the U.S. Capitol. In this case, a woman apparently rammed into a police car, got out and ran away. They chased after her. Some shots were fired, apparently because the police officers felt threatened. Nobody was hit or hurt by those shots that they fired. The woman was taken in for custody and questioning, and who knows exactly at this point why she did it or what happened exactly. That's just the report that was coming in. 3 TSA workers at New York's LaGuardia Airport were treated for some kind of exposure to a hazardous substance, something in somebody's food, in a passenger's carry-on. Now, I've had some hazardous food in my lifetime, and I can tell you what, whether it's Indian food, Thai food, Mexican food, all kinds of things that could cause a reaction. They got treated for it. Angela Merkel, that's the German head of government, has already rejected one of Theresa May's, that's the head of the British government, one of her key demands for Brexit. And one of those key demands is that we negotiate our future relationship while we also negotiate separating. It's kind of like a divorce, that's what they're calling it, in which these two entities who have been intertwined now for quite some time have decided, well, it's not going to work anymore. And so we've got one party saying, look, I want to make sure that we stay friends. I want to make sure that we negotiate our future relationship at the same time. The other side saying, no, you want out. We're just going to negotiate an end. We'll work on a future relationship later. And that's the way they're describing it right now. The U.S. Internet privacy law that had been proposed that would have required Internet providers to ask explicitly for your permission every single time they wanted to share any of your data, well, now that's been scrapped, and people are angry about it, saying that we need privacy. Other people saying, well, look, it's just going to level the playing field because some of these same rules don't apply to Google or Facebook, and yet now you're making it apply to all these other things without it. I don't know. Where do you go from there? The Russian army is being increased, apparently because they don't feel that they can respond to the current threat. And I don't know if you heard about the race riots that happened in India over the weekend and over the last few days, apparently targeting African students primarily, but also and just generally people from Africa. They say sometimes it has to do with race, sometimes it has to do with drug use, but it's being generally condemned. People are being taken out of rickshaws and beaten with sticks, in some cases being stripped of their clothes and beaten. Well, there you have it. The Trump border wall is facing a funding delay. Apparently the Republicans are like, let's hold off on trying to how we're going to pay for this. It might have to do with the possibility that the United States is running out of money. Speaking of running out of money, the Ministry of Finance, London's High Court, has ordered Ukraine to pay a Russian debt of some $3 billion in euro bonds. Not exactly sure of the jurisdiction there of how it is that it came to court in London. The pair of people that were filming the negotiations to try to get fetal tissue for research, remember this, it's an expose. Now they've been charged once again with invading people's privacy. And they faced similar charges in Texas, and those charges were dropped. Now they're facing the charges in California. Generally speaking, the lawyers saying that this is just something that Planned Parenthood is using their political cronies to try to force the discussion to stop on the issue. Also, looks like as Trump has backed away from the Obama-era climate change issue, now China and EU are saying, but we've invested so much money in it. It's such a great job maker. And there's a story in Pravda today looking at how the United States is apparently seriously preparing to shut down the government at the end of April. This has happened in 2011, 2013, 2015. In each one of these other cases, they reach the shutdown, and it's all triggered by this debt ceiling of saying you cannot borrow any more than this. And it'd be like, getting to the end of your credit card. You've maxed out your cards. And, if you could just say, well, I'm just going to go ahead and increase my limit. That's what the United States has been doing. The government has been doing for itself. Each one of these times, they reach that point, the government shuts down, and they're like, we'll give ourselves more spending limit. Well, at this point, now they're talking about the very serious possibility of reaching that point and not being able to raise the limit anymore because the United States is so far in debt. That'll be the subject of my commentary today, and I'd love to engage you. You've got a question, a comment, I don't know, anything at all. Send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com. Thanks.